Let me start with a historical perspective. It's the year 1972 in Dar es Salaam. The Pan-African historian, academic, thought leader, Walter Rodney, of course from Guyana. He's living in Tanzania at the time, and he writes his magnus opus, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. 50, 60 years later, today, let's say if we are talking about 2024, some people argue that some of the problems still facing the African continent are as a result of the colonial legacy. Some people say, maybe not. Maybe people need to move beyond the argument of colonialism is still the cause of most, if not all, of the problems facing Africa. Do you think somebody can make a strong argument today in the same manner Walter Rodney made the argument in 1972? That still it's the colonial legacy, it's the colonial powers, and maybe it has become neo-colonial? Or do you think 50, 60 years down the road, whether what African countries received at the time was flag independence, whether it was real independence, that we can still put the blame or lay the blame at the feet of colonialism?
I would say yes, in a word. And a lot of people, push back on that argument. They say you've had, self rule or independence for 6 decades. Why haven't you changed this? But the reality, for those who, analyzing what was informing Walter Rodney and analyzing systems that exist today, it's quite clear that, first of all, the independence that we thought we got, and I'll start with Kenya. We considered Kenyatta a founding father, but it has come to light so far. In the last few years, that Kenyatta was actually installed by the British. Even then, the Mau Mau actually said that he was not one of them, but for some reason, he wasn't listened to, and I think part of the reason is the monopoly of means of communication, media.
Like the media at the time?
Yeah, control of the media. The fact that for a long time we had Voice of Kenya, which then turned into KBC, until the 90s when you got the FM stations. That's when you could get in a word edgewise that's not controlled by the state. Yeah. Because that has come to where we are now, where you have, a podcast like yours or social media, and whereby information that was confined to some libraries or some archives is now available online. So people can research. For example, when you talk about the Goldenberg report, talk about the Kroll report, the one that exposed a lot of the corruption that happened during one of the biggest corruption cases. When you talk to the guys, the forensic auditors who traced what happened with that case, I spoke to one of them and he says he found all that information in the Kenya National Archives. Oh, okay. So the information was there, but people had not accessed it, although the information was there. Some of it was released, the normal 30 years, the usual way of releasing official documents, because they were able to trace that, the Goldenberg, to a lot of things that had happened since independence and before independence during the colonial government. It was a pattern. It was a way of using public projects to privatize public resources. And so what the Goldenberg scandal was, it was just another project similar to others that had happened before.
So something that was repeating itself over time.
Something that was repeating, and it was very British. And I think now, tying it now to that question of whether 60 years after independence we can still talk about colonialism, is that what the British did, and they did this across the Commonwealth, and most colonial, now it's emerging with the French. We are coming to the realization with the CFA and the central banks, is that they put what Frantz Fanon called black mask, white faces. So Africans with who believed they were white, or who had been socialized.
It's white masks, black skin.
Black skin, yeah. So those are the guys who are put in government, and it's logical because if you're going to hand over an administration, then you'd hand over to people with certain skill sets. And the people who had the skill sets to run a government, who are actually running government at that time, were the sons and daughters of the loyalists within those countries. So the people who had gone to school, to Alliance, to Mangu, to Stalhead, to wherever, who had the skill sets, or to Makerere and to London School of Economics, including Jomo Kenyatta and Mwai Kibaki, were a certain cadre of people. And these people had, their loyalty was not with the people of Kenya or Tanzania or Uganda or wherever. Their loyalties were to the people who had brought them up. And we've seen the struggle even in just being Kenyan. I think you've experienced in some schools where you go, and if you come from Nairobi, you're regarded as superior to someone who comes from the village.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that classicism, it's a very British thing, which is, you are socialized and culturalized into. And the more you could speak English with a certain accent, or the more you went to certain schools, or the more you come from a certain neighborhood. You know, colonialism is not just having an overlord, it's also mental. In fact, what Bob Marley sang is emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And the slavery that we've had, slavery came even before colonialism. So if we have not dealt with the mental slavery, how can you even deal with colonialism? And you can tell now the companies that run specific sectors of the economy, whether it's the motor industry, whether it's the tea, coffee, ranching, mining. All these things have an African face in front, but the shareholding is either British or American, or so that's what we mean that we've never really gotten independence. And unfortunately, also, the people in power are the one who influence the education system. And our education system has emphasized our inferiority and the superiority of the Western culture and that kind of thing. So when you say we have never gotten independence, part of it is that.